Hey guys, Shallon Spanky here, coming at you with our next JJK review. Today we have JJK Chapter 157, titled Tokyo Colony Number 2, Part 6. Came off a week break, guys. If you guys remember what happened last week, sorry, I got a little bit of a cold, a little bit of a runny nose, so I'm not picking my nose, I swear. If you guys remember what happened last week, though, Hikari showed off his jackpot ability, found out that with his domain expansion, when that boy hits the jackpot, unlimited cursed energy and unlimited positive cursed energy. So he can just keep healing himself. He's invincible. Man's a beast for 4 minutes and 11 seconds, upon which that deactivates. He can immediately reactivate domain expansion again to just keep screwing up his opponents. So where we left off, he had just ran out. Kashimo was freaking out, and the boy just activated domain expansion again. So, starting off with this chapter, just like with what happened with Charles, we have all the information of the domain expansion being loaded into Kashimo's head as it's being activated. This is not something I considered last week when I was thinking about this fight. I didn't realize that Kashimo didn't technically know the rules to Idle Death Gamble while he was fighting Hikari, which is a huge disadvantage. So I guess we're going to see this chapter exactly how learning of the effects levels out this fight. So we go in, Kashimo's sitting there. He's trying to activate his Hollow Wicker Basket, the domain expansion anti-counter move, right? But before he can even activate it, domain expansion activates instantly. It's just as fast as Mahito and Shibuya, which we know was at least 0.2 seconds. So the boy Hikari is absolutely going in. We find out that this Idle Death Gamble, the slot type that it is called a probability change loop type. So pretty much what this means, I'll read the definition directly. So a probability change loop only has some jackpots, usually an odd number, such as 5, that trigger the probability shift, but they can be chained for fever mode. So pretty much, depending on what jackpot you hit, you get an increased probability of your next jackpot hitting. And that's the kind that Hikari's thing is, or his domain expansion. So we're going to see exactly how that plays into it during this. So pretty much going on to next, we have enter probability change. The boy Hikari striking an absolutely beautiful JoJo-esque pose. All of a sudden we get a bunch of half-naked chibi girls surrounding Kashimo. They're sitting there, you know how it is when you guys are ringing the slot machines and you get like the 7s or whatever, and it's like, bring, 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 bring. I don't know if that's how it works, guys. I don't do slots. I prefer card games and sports betting. But it doesn't matter. A gambler's a gambler, and respect to Hikari. That's all I gotta say. So Hikari is aiming for a dealer repeat. Pretty much just means where the dealer wins in a way in which he can be the dealer again. Obviously, being the dealer can carry advantages and disadvantages. The boy Hikari is getting that's the whole point of this domain expansion. If he can do this right, dealer repeat, dealer repeat, dealer repeat over and over again without giving his opponent a chance to counter, which is pretty much what he's going for. So now that Kashimo actually knows what's going on with the domain expansion, he's sitting there realizing how this works. Immortal for 4 minutes and 11 seconds, not immortal until he can activate the jackpot again. So he's sitting here realizing, he's like, okay, you have a brief amount of time where you're not immortal. This is where I gotta strike and kill you. Kind of like, he's just weighing out the risks and rewards of it, right? Just calling Hikari out. Hikari responds with, love this quote, with an absolutely beautiful pose as he says it. Gambling responsibly or whatever, that's impossible. Our boy Hikari's a Sigma. What can I say? Kashimo, fine words. Couldn't have said it better myself, Kashimo. So then they're entering their little fierce melee. Do you guys remember the last JJK chapter? I was animating out the melees as best I can. I can't even follow this one. I mean, I can, but JJK melees are very hard to follow, but I can just tell they're so epic. Pretty much Kashimo in this first melee absolutely bodies Hikari, knocks him out, or at least does the thing where, you're falling back and your eyes go blank in an anime, which is usually never good. At this point, we have the next part of Hikari's domain expansion. Strikes another beautiful pose. Keep going. Hikari is so great. He's literally like Toto, but better. I mean, he's Toto, but better. And and Toto was pretty freaking great. So at this point, his domain expansion can mimic a pseudo spin. And a pseudo spin in actual real life slot machines, that's where you think it stopped. It's like, and then it goes one more. So from what I'm gathering, it's a little bit hard to understand in the middle of this heated, frantic melee. So his pseudo spin can re-roll a single sequence. Because of the previous activation of Pure Love Train, the probability of a jackpot exceeds 20%. It's an extremely high hype preview. So from what I think this means, he can use a pseudo spin and re-roll the previous sequence, but there's a percent chance that it doesn't work. But since his jackpot percent is so high because of his fever mode, or probability shift mode, probability shift mode, it exceeds 20%, so he's like, fuck it, we're going to keep going. So since it normally carries the high risk of being a dud, Hikari usually wouldn't use them outside of probability change mode. Alright, so this guy can flip the script at any time by rolling his jackpot with a 20% chance or above, depending on what jackpot he hit. Re-rolls the sequence, enters another fierce melee, again, gets his cheeks absolutely whooped. Spins again. Another even better pose. Keep going. Restarts the whole thing. He just keeps spinning and spinning. And okay, I get it now. Okay, guys, I get it now. So if you guys remember, he gets a spin anytime he attacks or uses certain techniques. So when he spins, the spins have a chance of activating a probability shift, or a pseudo spin, which rewinds it. Okay, that's a pretty ballsy move. I'm not going to lie. I don't know. I mean, I like gambling a lot, but holy cow, this man is gambling with his life. But like he said, gambling responsibly or whatever is impossible. So at this point, after his next keep going, he reaches the Ricci situation, hits the jackpot, hits the jackpot, hits the one of the probability situations where it plays the sequence, and it's the opportunity to get a Ricci situation, I should say. So the opportunity hits. It's the accident on the express train. Pretty much the guy on the express train has to get to a stop without wetting his pants. The percent chance of this, let's see. This is a medium percent chance one, so it's not low, it's not high. They're sitting there, going through, fighting in their melee. And guys, I just gotta say, the poses in this chapter, the poses, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Hirohiko Araki would be proud. That's all I gotta say. I mean, holy cow. After two spins, our boy hits the Ricci. Actually, after one freaking Ricci situation, hits the Ricci. Guy makes it to the restroom without wetting himself. All of a sudden, the freaking domain fades away. Oh man, dude, Hikari I can't wait to hear his voice actor. He just carries, even reading this, he carries such a presence on the screen, and it's gonna be the same thing as Toto. Toto sat there yelling like, "Brother!" And then with freaking what's his face is gonna be just as cool. So anyways, our boy Hikari sitting there looking absolutely orgasmic like he was last time. Just like music, start. Freaking jackpot, cursed energies flowing off him, strikes again, an absolute. I'm gonna put the poses on the screen, but allow me to also reenact them as he's charging up his jackpot. So anyways, going on from there, Kashimo observing. Begun 4 minutes and 11 seconds of invincibility after winning a jackpot. All right, he's pretty much just summarizing what we already know about what happens when he gets the jackpot. This time he's like jackpot matched with even numbers. He doesn't have the probability shift anymore. So pretty much, because this time, so he got an immediate jackpot plus the two probability shift plus the immediate jackpot plus the two pseudo spins. So he's like, all right, this jackpot was even numbers. If I can just survive this 4 minute and 11 second onslaught, that next jackpot could take him some time. He won't be able to do any pseudo spins. I already screwed him up twice. He needed to use two pseudo spins and an instant Ricci to be able to even get to the next jackpot against Kashimo. So Kashimo's just like, all right. So He's like, fuck, I'm just going to try to survive. So if I can get out of this 4 minutes and 11 seconds, I win. Guys, I'm terrified, I gotta say, because we'll see. Then Kashimo with the super powerful anime villain grin. That's as much as I can describe. That's the grin you get when you're, guys, if you guys remember on my video, I mentioned that last week I made a brisket. I didn't get around to uploading the vlog because I have so much fun with my actual life. Sometimes I forget I got to be recording this stuff for the vlogs, which is a good thing. It's better to enjoy your life than to feel like you need to document it. But this is the same look that I had on my face looking at that brisket I smoked. I mean, oh my gosh. He goes, but that's what a small fry would think. He's going for the kill during the jackpot. All of a sudden, we see lightning just... I mean, this guy's going in. And meanwhile, again, Hikari with the pose. Sitting there looking at the boy. Meanwhile, Kashimo's literally just like a freak, like electro. I mean, oh my gosh, just cursed energy pulsating off him. Turn up the music and prepare your living funeral. Oh my god, dude, Kashimo's going in, I ain't gonna lie. Even Hikari, he's not looking scared, but Hikari has that look of excitement on his face. He's like, oh shit, this jackpot isn't gonna be an instant dub like I thought. In these 4 minutes and 11 seconds, I will slaughter even an immortal like you. Dude, Kashimo is the lightning, the energy, the killer intent in this man's eyes. You just can't, I mean, holy cow. And I think in this panel, Hikari is looking a little worried. He's like, yeah, this is fun, but whoopsie daisies. At this point, enter flashback. So in the flashback, we see it's like a battlefield, bodies strewn out everywhere. We got eyeballs, we got hands, we got brains, we got swords, we got blood, looking like a true almost battle of Sekigahara. So then behind, in the middle of this, we have this old man who's just, he's sitting there on a stump, right, amongst all these dead bodies. And then we see someone walk up behind him. The old man asks if this old man is Kenjaku. Kenjaku, as you guys know, is main villain of the story, more or less, so far. He's the one who is manipulating Geto. So we're going to, whatever. We'll see exactly where this flashback is going in just a second. But it seems they're in league somewhere. It seems maybe this fight was something set up by Kenjaku. Because he's asking if the old man had fun, right? Old man's like, no, I wish I would have fought you back when you were stronger. I'm still looking for someone really powerful. Kenjaku mentions... There's a man in the, I don't know if it's Date or Date province, born with the most cursed energy output in history. A veritable cannon, as he calls him. And based off the picture we're seeing here of this guy, I do believe it's the man that fought Yuta, the one with the granite blast ability, giant hair thing. But that's kind of crazy, because if he had the most cursed energy output in history back in the day and Yuta just screwed him up like that, I mean, we're dealing with some very top-tier sorcerers. I'm curious as to how many of the people we've seen fight are special grade, or if any of them are special grade. I'd like to think that Kashimo is special grade, considering the people he's trying to fight. We'll see this in just a second. So, at this point, we see the old man sitting down and coughing into his hand. Blood comes out. Everyone who reads manga and watches anime knows coughing up blood is literally the worst possible thing that can happen to a character. So the old man sits there and goes, there's no time left for me to be cautious. Kenjaku, who is the strongest sorcerer you've ever met? At this point, Kenjaku answers with one word, Sukuna. That was 600 years ago, though. I'm sorry, but it's indisputable. What I'm getting from this is that this old man, which, let me see if it just says it. Okay. This old man who, if you can look at the images, it's very apparent it's Kashimo, right? It's Kashimo from hundreds of years ago, back in the old days. This Kashimo is old. It's an old man Kashimo. So now I think we're seeing, we're getting down to the nitty gritty of what's going on with Kashimo. Kashimo, extremely powerful sorcerer from back in the day. Extremely, extremely, extremely. There's no way he's not special grade. If he's trying to fight Sukuna, if he's just dominating his era, it has to be Kashimo that's special grade. All right. So at this point, Kashimo's just trying to, he keeps hearing, he's like, he knows Kenjaku's the oldest alive. He really wants to fight strong people. So he's like sitting there, Kenjaku, hook me up with some strong opponents. I need them. Give me a challenge, right? So Kenjaku's just like, listen, it's Sukuna or bust for you, buddy. You're probably the strongest person I've ever met besides Sukuna. If, you're not going to face a challenge unless you're fighting Sukuna. So at this point, Kashimo goes, there's no way around it. I have to accept your offer. This way, I can challenge Sukuna. So what it appears happened, Kashimo was one of, if not the strongest sorcerer of his time, could not find an opponent that even challenged him. He died of natural illness, sadly. And now he's doing anything possible just to get the chance to challenge Sukuna. Okay, guys. Okay. I just gotta say, in this panel of old man Kashimo with the lightning, he's looking fierce. And, guys, so if I had to predict, this is end of chapter, by the way, end of chapter. Also, I said 157, I think. I meant chapter 187. Sorry, boys. Where are we going to go from here? Has my fight prediction changed? Obviously, because I said Hikari in 2 chapters. It's not going to be Hikari in 2 chapters, as we've just reached 2 chapters. I think what's going to happen is Kashimo, here's my official predictions, Kashimo's going to get the chance to face Sukuna. It's going to happen. I mean, when you got something like this, I think, and Kashimo seems to be more important than the other people that we've seen fighting, more important than Reggie, more important than the lawyer that Yuji fought, more important than any of the people that Yuta fought. It seems like Yuta's fight, honestly, and I'm glad they did this, just kind of gave some base, bare-level background for some characters, like we saw in this guy, the Cannon dude. We know that he was a sorcerer from the past, and we know that means a little bit more because of Yuta's fight. We know there's some stuff with Yuta's clan and his ancestors and that woman who could control the sky. So that was a nice little thing. But this seems to be kind of like the grand finale capping off. I'm gonna put this computer down real fast. Seems to be the grand finale of this whole little first stage of the Culling games. I think Hikari's going to lose, guys. I'm not going to, as much as I'd like to say I love Hikari, and I truly do. Him, his poses, and his gambling, they're all fantastic. But quite frankly, I also know how a story usually goes. And at least I like to think I do, and I'm going to sound really stupid if this doesn't happen. So, predictions. Kashimo, next chapter. It's going to be Kashimo just absolutely going in on Hikari. Will he beat Hikari during the jackpot? I'm not quite sure. Will he put Hikari in a situation where the second the jackpot ends, he'll die? That's quite possible. Do I think Hikari's going to die? No. I think what's going to happen is Hikari is smarter than he seems, and he's going to say, I'll just take you to Sukuna. He's going to realize, I'm about to die. I'm going to take you to Sukuna. Who knows where it goes from there? I'm just trying to extend my own life. Who knows, we'll get you back to Yuji. Yuta might be there, Yuta, Yuji, and all these boys versus Kashimo. Realistically, leading Kashimo to Sukuna would be the same as getting reinforcements. At least assuming that Yuji's met up with Megumi or, I guess it would just be Megumi or Yuta. Maki. Maki, that'd be a big one. But more or less, right, I think what's going to happen, I think Kashimo's going to get led back to Sukuna. I'm not sure what's going to happen from there, though. Yuji doesn't play stupid games like that. He's not going to let Sukuna get out. We know how Yuji feels about this. I'm not quite sure how Kashimo will feel about that. He seems to be a very, I want to fight Sukuna. So I'm thinking there's a possibility that... So this could go a couple different ways, right? I think Kashimo could be... we've already seen how powerful Sukuna is when he fought the 8-handled general, right? That was extremely impressive. Activated domain expansion, killed thousands. So I'd like to say we already have a good grasp on Sukuna's power. How epic would it be, though, if Kashimo just absolutely destroyed Hikari, went and cucked everyone else, forced Sukuna into fighting him, and then Sukuna whooped him no diff? Like, if we just keep setting Sukuna up, put him up on a higher pedestal, maybe that's where we're going to see, like, he had that arrow ability where he did the weird thing, and he's like open. We don't know what the deal with that is. No one does. Not even the cursed spirits he was working with knew what the deal was with his fire ability. So it seems to not be a fire ability. It seems to be just some crazy ability in general. That somehow in this way he used to create fire, right? So I'm thinking that would be a good opportunity to learn about that through Kashimo. There's another good chance that Kashimo just joins up with the squad. Like, realistically, the same way, we saw he joined up with Kenjaku because Kenjaku was like, join up with me and you'll get the chance to fight Sukuna, right? Well, now at this point, so we know his loyalties don't really lie with anyone. They just lie with whoever's going to be going, whoever's going to get him close to Sukuna. Yuji's like, hey, listen, we're trying to eventually, expunge Sukuna, exorcise him, kill him, whatever you want to know. Hang out with us. Help us get the rest of Sukuna's fingers. And I've already agreed, Yuji's going to be like, I already agreed to die when the time comes. I need to be the one to die, and so that way Sukuna will also die. He's like, come and help me achieve that, and afterwards, you can be the one to kill me. Someone's already going to do it anyways. And, for that reason, I could see Kashimo joining. Overall, I mean, how do I feel about that? I like it a lot more than what I thought it was going to be. I thought Kashimo was going to be I thought he was going to die this chapter, be a one and done. Just kind of the generic, I'm looking for revenge type. I'm liking that he has a connection to Kenjaku from the past, because this is very important. There's this huge gap of time where we just don't know what's going on in the JJK world. We know about the current stuff, we know about stuff like 20, 30 years ago, but pretty much anything prior to before Gojo's childhood, we just keep seeing bits and pieces, and it's slowly coming together. I think it's going to be a thing where there's going to be one chapter 280 some, chapter 240, whatever it's going to be, where all these puzzle pieces are just going to link up. We're going to get some great, it's going to be we're going to learn about how Kenjaku's connected to Yuji. The 6 eyes, how Kenjaku's connected to Tengen, the whole thing with Maki and Toji. We're going to hopefully see Megumi learn how to control the 8-handled general. Oh my gosh, eventually. Lord forbid. Anything else for this chapter? Not that I can think of. Very excited for next chapter. I think we're going to see Kashimo go in. I think, I'm standing by that. Kashimo is going to absolutely destroy Hikari next chapter, as much as I hate to say, but the tables have turned. Shaolin Spanky signing out. Follow Hikari's advice, boys. Gambling responsibly, it's impossible, so don't bet anything you're not willing to lose. Hikari bet his life, so let's hope he doesn't lose it. Shaolin Spanky, signing out.